Years ago, I wrote a book called What's So Amazing About Grace. And frankly, I've learned most of what I know about grace from people who do struggle with addiction. Because a lot of the rest of us feel like we can just kind of make it on our own. And when you're addicted, you realize you can't. At some point, you hit bottom and you realize I need help. I like to tell people that grace is an absolutely free gift from God. There's nothing you can do to deserve it or earn it. But to receive a free gift, you have to have your hands open. And if you don't, the gift will just fall to the ground. People who are at the very bottom, people who do hit that wall, realize I can't make it on my own. I need help. And of course, that's one of the first things that an alcoholic says every day when he goes to the 12-step program. I need help. I can't make it on my own. That's kind of un-American. We like to make it on our own. And so in one sense, it's peculiar, but it's as if alcoholics and addicts have a little bit of an advantage over some of the rest of us because they realize, I need help. And the church can be, should be, and sometimes is, a place where they can go for help. I think the church can do two things that are very hard to get somewhere else. Every person who is trying to recover, it's a tough battle. And often you don't make it the first time. You fall, you stand up, you fall, you stand up. And if you're going through that kind of struggle, you need a nourishing community around you that will hold you accountable, make you responsible. And that will be there when you do fail, because you probably will fail. So a nourishing community is something that the church can provide, uniquely almost. And then the other thing is a spiritual component. Most surveys that I've seen show that the most effective recovery programs need that spiritual component. Even the federal government will recognize it's groups like Salvation Army, Teen Challenge, groups like that that include a spiritual component. Those are the ones that are most effective. And so the church can, I think, uniquely provide those two essential aspects of recovery. Those of us who are believers think, let's take the next step. Let's go and tap into that power, that spiritual power that we have as Christians that is freely available. I mentioned earlier that the church can provide a nourishing community and it can provide that spiritual component. From what I understand about what Tom is doing in 7 Steps, he's doing exactly that. He's dealing with group homes so that you're around people who are all going through the same thing with wise guidance, with some mentors around, and an environment that holds you accountable. There are pretty strict rules there. And to stay in the 7-step program, you've got to follow those rules. You need that when you're in the early stages of recovery especially. And then with the regular Bible studies, with the spiritual teaching that they have, they provide that spiritual component that is so essential to an effective recovery. And more people just have a hard time coping. We all go through hard times. Of course, the economy recently has been a very tough struggle for people. And the only way that you can find cure is to admit that there's a problem. And what I like about Tom's approach is that he said, I've had struggles. We've all had struggles. So let's not deny them, but let's get together and solve them. We can't do it on our own. We need each other. We need God. And the whole program, the 7 Steps, are oriented around that.